Hi, my name is John Maxwell, and welcome to the Lunch and Learn. And today we're going to talk about my book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. This is the best-selling leadership book ever written, over 3 million copies, 57 languages, every country of the world. And when I began to write the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, I had to ask myself, first of all, what defines a law? What makes a law so important that everybody needs to know it and obey it? And we took it through a leadership law grid, which basically said it has to work well in every culture, with every gender, and every time, all the time. It has to be almost like timeless. It had to work 100 years ago, it has to work 100 years from now, and more importantly, it has to work right now. It was that grid that allowed those laws to be special and significant, that has allowed it to be continually reproduced in every culture and every country on a continual basis. Now, there's some observations that I want to make concerning these laws that we're going to teach you. And the first one is the fact that no one does all the laws well. And there are 21 of them. And trust me, I wrote the book and there are 6 of them that I'm averaging myself. In fact, I was kind of frustrated. I had to put them in there because they were laws. And I thought, wow, I don't do really well with them. But it's okay. You're going to find that you don't do really well on all the laws also. That's why you bring a leadership team around you. They complement you. They complete you. They do for you what you cannot do for yourself. These laws also have consequences. In other words, simply, you obey them and they work for you, but if you disobey them, they really can hurt you. I remember one time while I was signing books, a man came up to me and he said, I disagree, John, with one of your laws. And I smiled and I said, it's okay. But I could tell immediately on the countenance of his face that it wasn't okay with me, that he disagreed with one of them. And so he kind of pressed me on it. And finally I looked at him and I said, my friend, I didn't write the laws to make you happy. I wrote the laws to help you. It's kind of like somebody saying, John, I don't agree with the law of gravity. Well, I don't care. But trust me, if you go up on a 4-story building and you jump off, you're going to immediately buy into the law of gravity. You see, the laws don't really ask you to like them. They just ask you to learn them and obey them. And what's beautiful about the 21 Laws of Leadership is you can learn every one of these laws. In other words, you can get better. I know that because we have trained over 6 million people, again, in every country in 57 languages. So if we did it for them, guess what? At this Lunch and Learn, we can do it for you. So let's talk about law number 1, the law of the lid, which basically says how well you lead determines how well you succeed. As a young leader, as a young writer, I came to the conclusion that everything rises and falls on leadership. And that statement began to light a fire and create passion within me. The reason now at the age of 70 I'm still teaching leadership is because I believe, without any doubt, that everything rises and falls on leadership. In your life, in my life, education, government, business, religion, it doesn't matter. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Not some things, not most things, everything. Let me illustrate the law of the lid with my hand. If this hand represents my leadership lid, this is how well John Maxwell leads, and this hand represents my business, my team, my company. What I know about the law of the lid is that my company, my business, my team will always come under, but never go above or higher than my leadership lid. So if I'm an average leader from a 1 to a 10, I'm a 5, what that means is my company, my business, my team, it'll be a 4. It'll never go higher. Why? Because of the law of the lid. My leadership is the lid on my potential. Now, when I do Q&A at leadership conferences, somebody will raise their hand, they'll say, John, are leaders born? And whenever they ask me, are leaders born? I always laugh, say, well, of course they are. I've never met an unborn leader and don't particularly want to either. Thank you very much. You see, what they're really asking is, are there some people when they're born, they go to the front of the line because they can lead and they have gifts, and there are others that are born, they go to the back of the line because they can't. And I just want you to know that there are people that are born with leadership gifts, but you, whether you have any leadership gifts or not, can learn to lead and influence people because leadership is influence. I'll talk about that law a little later. And your ability to learn how to influence people will determine the size of the people, the amount of people that you actually lead. Again, in my 20s, I heard Earl Nightingale say that if I spent 1 hour a day, every day, on a certain given subject in 5 years, I could become an expert on that subject. I was so passionate by that and about leadership, I said, I'm going to try this little project. I'm going to, for 5 years, spend an hour every day studying leaders, asking questions of leaders, reading leadership material. I'm just going to immerse myself in leadership, and that's exactly what I did. And as I started this leadership growth process, every day I'd say, wow, Earl Nightingale said 5 years. I wonder how long it will take. How long will it take? How long will it take? And I did that for a couple of years. But on the inside, I was developing and growing as a leader. And I was enjoying this growth process so much within me. By the end of the second year, I quit asking the question, how long will it take? And I started asking the question, how far can I go? That question, how far can I go, I still ask today. I'm 70 and I think that Nike is right. There is no finish line in the area of leadership. And at this Lunch and Learn, I'm so glad you're here, because Mark Cole and myself and our facilitator, the John Maxwell team that's with you, I'm here to tell you, my friend, we're here to put you on a journey that is going to be absolutely breathtaking as you grow as a leader, and therefore you expand the success of your life. That's what I want for you. And that's what Mark Cole wants for you. Again, he leads all my companies, so he has to apply all these laws to his life and to the life of the teams that we have. And he does an outstanding job with them. And as he comes to share with you, he's going to do an outstanding job with you, helping you to flesh out and apply the laws that I teach today.